Whoa, 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 at the break of the rising dawn, as the night's last shadows are gone, a spark ignites across the sky. Truth comes rolling in high. Hear the drum of the unheard. Feel the power of the word. We rise from dark to light, cut through the lies, ignite. Truth breaking through the noise, justice in our voice. From the silence to the fight. This is dawn and justice, let's rise. Across the wire, through the storm, we won't conform, we won't be warned. Every voice, every sign, we draw the waking line. Screens light up, the message clear. No more running, no more fear. From the ashes, from the night, we carry forward burning light. Dark to light, night to dawn. Truth lives on. We press on. We rise from dark to light, cut through the lies, ignite. Truth breaking through the noise, justice in our voice. From the silence to the fight, we stand together in the light. This is dawning justice, let's rise. This is dawning justice, let's rise.
Good morning, everyone. I am Josh the Justice Cometh, and this is Dawning Justice. This is your morning news wrap-up show for everything that happened yesterday. So we're waking up and we're stretching. Oh, and we are getting ready for the day because I think we're going to see some booms today, judging from some of the deltas out there yesterday. So I can't wait to go through some of those. I'm looking over here at my notes. So guys, welcome in. If you are joining us on Rumble today and you're rumbling through the Rumble chat, make sure you give me that thumbs up and that repost. And my Xers over there are already being excellent. So if you will please give me that repost and that heart over there, I'd appreciate it. And gosh, guys, we're already up and rolling on YouTube. So the tubers over there, make sure to give me that thumbs up. And oh my gosh, I see my good buddy Naveal. I met him at the Freedom 250 fair, and that was amazing to see him. So welcome in there. And everybody on Facebook, if you want to give me that love, that thumbs up, or whatever you can, I would very, very much appreciate that. And don't forget that Dawning Justice is brought to you by JusticeRooms.com and JusticePetClub.com. So if you want to get your body and your furry friend's body back in balance and turn off your check engine light, visit JusticeShrooms.com and JusticePetClub.com. So, guys, it's been very eventful lately. We've got some comms to go through. Elon reposted that video from July 4th, I think for the fourth time. So we're going to go through that a little bit. We're going to comb through it a little bit more. Let's see here. We've got some Iran news. We're going to go through some Seth Rich stuff. We're going to go through some McConnell stuff. Freedom Fire has got her new operating system up and rolling, so we're going to touch on that just for a little bit. We're going to go through a couple of interviews that Tracy had. Gosh, we got all kinds of news to bring to you today, guys. Thank you for joining us yesterday, and when we brought on our sponsor yesterday, and I did see that we had some new orders come through. So, guys, listen, save your Rumble rants, okay? I appreciate all the Rumble rants that you give me and all the, little things that you guys send me, but if you want to go to my sponsors, I would rather you get something that will benefit you as well as it would benefit me. So don't forget to check out all of our sponsors at tracingjustice.com, or if you just want to help us out, our giving links are all there too. So speaking of our sponsors, I love Mike and the guys at Hunter's Blend Coffee. Guys, we spend gobs of money at Walmart, Target, wherever, buying coffee. And it's subpar, to say the least. Even some of the big name brands. Guys, there's all kinds of crap in that coffee. So Mike at the guys at Hunter's Blend Coffee use the top 6% of the beans out there. So as you can see right here, I'm going to show you this video here in just a second that Mike was up to on July 4th. But before we do that, I just want to let you guys know that they sell the whole beans. They even sell the pods in a sample pack. And this is Tracy's favorite, Dawn's Early Light. That is her favorite blend. And guys, if you want a really comfortable t-shirt, this t-shirt right here is awesome. It is one of the softest. Guys, I sell t-shirts. But Mike has got a great t-shirt. It is so soft. And guys, look. The Great Awakening. It doesn't get any better than that. It's a Patriot company. So if you want to check out Hunter's Blend Coffee, just go to www.dawningcoffee.com. And this was interesting. So Julie posted this. This right here is why I do what I do. A group of American-loving patriots and fighters for freedom, having fun and thinking of me too. Here comes the boom. And this was the guys at Hunter's Blend Coffee on July 4th. So let's watch this quick clip because it's pretty entertaining here.
Gentle little,
Yup.
like a little campfire.
Ready?
Yeah. Yeah, we're ready.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
Welcome to the Great Awakening.
Oh my God.
Donut. Hey, what's her name? Jelly Donut?
Julie Donuts.
Sorry. Hey, Julie, there you go.
Oh my gosh. That was such a
That was a good one.
That was a good one.
Okay, yes. What are the thoughts here, people?
That was amazing.
Welcome to the Great Awakening. Come on.
I do hope the fire goes out.
Yeah, is the field gonna catch on fire?
It will. That poor grass back there.
That is incredible.
That was a good one.
That
Sometimes
was a good-
Those guys love to blow stuff up. If you ever go through their X feed, they're always blowing something up. So check them out at dawningcoffee.com and use my code Tracing Justice, all one word, for 10% off of your first order. All right, so let's go through the chat. Let's see who we've got here checking in with us so far. So I want to go through the X chat first. So the first check-in this morning was K9 Andrea, part of our Truther Media team over there in Mod Team. So thank you. Alanita0711 checking in. Wendy checking in. And Scout Mom checking in. Kelly B checking in. Good morning. Good morning. And Kelly B is also one of our subscribers to Tracing Justice over there on X. So thank you for that. And like I was saying, Neville, I got to meet him at the Great American Fair, and it was amazing. And dude's tall. He come up to me and he said, "Hey, he was just kind of making some small talk and asking a question. I thought he thought I worked there." Because, I had on my my badge and everything, my media credentials. And I was fixing to say, "No, I don't work here." And then he just busted out laughing and gave us, me and Steve, this big old hug. So we very much appreciate him. Window Shopper says, "Good morning. Finally made it into one of my days off." Candace Wagner says, "Good morning. Where we go one, we go all." Y'all turning in for morning news wrap up. Thanks for bringing it. So thank you, Candace, for coming in. And Janie Root Bear 24, also another subscriber to Tracing Justice over there on X, says, "Good morning, y'all." Cindy Rocks 260, "Good morning, fam. It is a beautiful morning. I think I'll go outside for a while and just smile. God's blessing surrounds us every day." Awesome. Carrie Girl, good morning, good morning. And North Carolina Patriot checking in. Purple 1964 says, "Hi from PA." Awesome. And again, Neville says, "Amazing time. So glad to meet y'all." So let's go through the tube here, and we've got a couple people checking in. My buddy over there, Four Huskies, checking in over there, saying USA, USA, and Making It Make Sense says, "Good morning, friends. Let's go." So, guys, like I said, Pilled, they love AJP. But that means that they're probably asleep right now. Because they have been sleeping, because they probably didn't go to bed till like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning watching the AJP show. But that's okay. They can catch me on the replay. So, guys, on my Rumble chat is rumbling away. So let's see who we got checking in on Rumble. So Nana2112 was the first check-in this morning. Says, "Good morning." Debbie V57 says, "I ordered my longevity pack this morning. I can't wait to get it." And guys, listen, send me your all's testimonials or whatever, because I love hearing from you guys, because I'm telling you, I don't just throw any products out there to you guys. We research our products that we push and try to present to you guys. So we really believe in these products that we tell you about. So again, thank you, Debbie V57, for checking out the longevity pack. And K9 Andrea, "I haven't made it to AJP in weeks. I feel bad, but I've gotten some sleep." I mean, sometimes we got to get some rest. Let's just face it. So, especially Andrea, where she is recovering. So, let's see here. Knocks my socks off. Says, "Going to try to stick, but I've not yet ended my Tuesday. So I could crash at any time. Lurking till then, and don't forget to like and share." Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, Knock My Socks Off. I appreciate that, because sometimes I'll go into AJP's chat at night and I say, "Where are you all at in the mornings?" Hey, MS2 Patriot, thank you for checking in over there on pill.net. I very much appreciate that. And let's see who else we got checking in over there on Rumble. So American Gigi says, "Good morning, friends. Been up since 3 a.m. and still not awake." I feel you. I've been up since 5 o'clock this morning, and I'm still not awake either. So let's see here. Who else we got checking in here? Freedom Fire 1776, part of our Truth or Media podcasting team over there on Signal Over Noise. So thank you so much. Leanne999, good morning, good morning. Busy all the time. Says, "Happy Wednesday morning, all. Much love, fam." So thank you. R Pierce 17 says, "Good morning, Josh. Good morning to you." And Twice Barb, "Good morning with the coffee." Yeah, you know what? If I drank coffee, I'd be drinking my Hunter's Blend coffee. But Tracy wakes up every morning And that's one of the very first things she does is drinks her Hunter's Blend coffee. Me, I'm pretty much water. So occasionally I'll have a Coke, but that's okay. You know, we all have our vices sometimes, but I do drink a lot of water though, so that is good for me. All right, so I want to go ahead and jump into our devotional for the morning. So let's go ahead and dive in. Signal Over Noise says, first watch. The night is always darkest for those who aren't watching. Throughout Scripture, God often calls watchmen to stand on the walls, not to create fear, but to remain alert. Their purpose wasn't panic, it was preparation. Jesus gave the same instructions to his followers. Watch. Watch your heart. Watch your doctrine. Watch your life. Watch and pray. The enemy doesn't usually announce his arrival. He looks for moments when we grow comfortable, distracted, or spiritually asleep. But believers aren't called to live in fear of the darkness. We are called to shine in it. The first watch of the night required discipline. While others rested, the watchman stayed awake because he understood that vigilance protected the city. Today, God still calls his people to be spiritually awake, to remain grounded in his word, to pray faithfully, to encourage one another, to stand firm until morning breaks. Peter reminds us, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, walks about like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. And that's 1 Peter 5:8 in the New King James Version. The goal isn't to obsess over darkness. It's to stay so close to Christ that we're ready whenever he calls. The faithful watchman doesn't fear the night. He watches for the coming dawn. Stay awake. Stay faithful. Keep your eyes on Jesus. Morning is coming. First watch. Be sober. Be vigilant. Because your adversary, the devil, walks about like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. The watchman's call: stay awake, stay alert, stand firm, pray always, trust his word. While others sleep, the faithful watch and pray. Stay alert, stay faithful, and keep your eyes on Jesus. You know, I think we've all been there before, that we kind of get complacent, you know, getting in the daily grind and things like that. We kind of stop praying a little bit. We kind of stop reading the Bible a little bit. And before you know it, we're straying away from our Lord. Because again, we just get in this mindset of that we can just do everything on our own. I'm guilty of it too. You know, doing these podcasts every day. Sometimes I'll do, 7 shows a week. Sometimes I'll do 8 and 9 shows a week. And I work. And I have family. So sometimes it gets so easy to push that stuff aside without even realizing it. But when we do that, we're lowering our defenses against Satan. We get in these routines and then boom, sin pops right up on you. Temptation pops right up on you. And Satan loves to catch you without your armor of God on. We're all guilty of it. So, how do we combat that? How do we stay on the watch? Just like Seth Larrabee says, when you wake up in the morning, and if this is the first thing you reach for every morning, when you open your eyes, you're putting this above God. You set your tone for your day with prayer. As soon as you open your eyes, and I get it, guys. We all got to use the bathroom in the morning. Let's just face it. But if you can, as soon as you open your eyes, just say a little prayer to God. You know, Lord, I come to you in Jesus Christ's name, Lord. Please provide what I need for today. Thank you for giving me another day on the face of this earth that you created for us. It could be as simple as that. But what you're doing is you're telling Satan in the morning, I have my eyes on God, not you, Satan, but God. So Landon, thank you for checking in over there on X. And Brouhaha, good morning, friends. Thank you so much. And let's see here. Carrie Girl says, tears may endure for the night, but joy cometh in the morning. I love that. I love that. Guys, the chat's silent. You still out there? I haven't seen it move in a little bit, but I guess everybody's listening, so let's just hope that. All right, so guys, let's go ahead and get into some news for the day. All right, guys, so Elon reposted this video right here, again, for the fourth time. You know, let's kind of watch this video and go through this video, and let's see what we can come up with. Let's maybe, K9 Andrew says, we're here. Let's go through this video, and let's see what we can find in this video. Maybe we've, Brouhaha, I see that, post 4559, Josh. I have seen that. We will go over that, because when the video first came out, I did catch that. But we're going to go through it again, though. Let's go through this video and let's see if we're just like missing something. Let's do like a team decode. I'll be watching the chats and making sure if maybe you guys see something that I don't see in this video, but he's signaling something. I don't know what it is, but let's see if we can try to figure it out. We're going to watch it in its entirety first.
Oh, sweet land. Sweet land of the weary and the wild. Oh, where are you, my sweet child?
Thank you, Lana, for checking in over on Facebook.
To dive, can't tell if it's the dusk or if it's breaking into dawn. Are we going on or are we going gone? Somebody said a storm is coming, but it's been a long time. I don't know what's up ahead, but please, baby, don't you look behind. So tell me, is it gonna be free energy forever, or just the same damn old grind? Singing, sweet land of the weary and the wild. Are we 1 year from the grave, or is this just the beginning? My sweet child, oh, you're my If you can hear this from the other side, across this great quantum divide, don't get me wrong, now is the time to stay strong. So, with all of that, I'll say, God bless the USA! God bless the USA! Singing, sweet land, going on, 250 years and it's going on and on the edge of a forever or the edge of being gone. Is it midnight? Is it morning? Is it ruining? Is it time to rise? 250 summers gone by. So just go on and tell me those sweet lies, the kind as sweet as these July. Going on and going gone. Light up, light, higher. Sweet land's going on. Sweet land, going, gone. So please, just know that we can still rebuild. We can still make something better.
So I think that the overall message, and we'll get into some specifics here in just a minute, but the overall message is that, guys, we're still in a battle. Are we going to be the Great Awakening, or are we just going to roll over? Guys, I've not made my feelings about the movie hidden at all. And I'm not getting into that. I'm just saying, we got to be involved. Elon's telling us right there, get involved. Is it time to fight back? Yes. It's time to fight back. It's time to stop sitting in the back row and watching you think that this is some big production. It's time to get in the fight. All right, so, All right, so let's start going through it. First off, I believe this video is, hold on just one second. Let me get the total length of this video. Give me just 1 second. So it's 4 minutes and 55 seconds long. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take this off. Got to give me just a second here, guys. So we're going to share screen, and we're going to go to QAG. I've got the deltas pulled up for today, but let's go ahead and search out drop number 455. Okay. So 455 is a post from 12/23/2017. It was on 8chan. Q quotes itself off post 454. 5 minutes. Missing marker 10 from the past. Missing 15 marker from the past. Timestamps have meanings. Q. And then Q follows up, says graphics should be in the same time zone. Delta relevant. 5 today, 10 past, 15 past. Q. All right. So let's go and see what that timestamp was on Elon's post. All right, so here's the post. So you have to remember, guys, my stuff displays in Central Time, okay, because I'm in Central Time. So we have to add an hour to it. So it's going to be 2:13 a.m. And that's military time, 0213. So there is no, translation there, okay? It's 2:13. So let's go back to post 2:13. Let's see what it says. Let's see if it makes sense. Post 213 is a post from 11/23/2017 off 4chan. The world cannot swallow the truth. Q. Okay. So, Brouhaha said post 4559. Okay, and let me show you where he's getting that, okay? So let me find it in here. There it is right there. Hold on, let me back up. Dang it. It's hard to get, guys. Hold on. There it is right there. So, if you don't think that these comms are real, if you see in the background right there, and you've probably already seen this from 3, 4, 5 days ago, okay? But for those that are just joining Dawning Justice, and we don't go over a lot of Q stuff on Dawning Justice. We mostly do that on, hey, Matt1776 over there on Pilled. Thank you for checking in. Pilled, and Matt said there's going to be a small blip over in the Pilled world over there. So post 4559. Note the date, July 1st, 20. Okay. All right. So let's go back. Post 4559. Well, look at that. Post 4559 is a post from 7/1/2020. And guys, just to put this in perspective, sorry, I got to get back to it. Here, I'll just play it right. See that? So post 4559, and the screen said July 1st, 2020. July 1st, 2020, post 4559 from Ain't Kun. You see, there's the Q flag right there that all the government accounts were posting lately. Q says, there was a time when our children stood at attention and with pride, put their hand on their heart, and in one united voice recited the Pledge of Allegiance. There was a time when strength and honor meant something. There was a time when standing for our flag meant something. There was a time when our history heritage was taught with pride and respect. There was a time when respect was given to those who served, bled, and died to protect and defend our freedom. There was a time when we were grateful. There was a time when our accomplishments meant something. There was a time when the United States of America, one nation under God, was united. There was a time when these United States of America, one nation under God, was united under the American flag. a flag that was carried in battle by brave patriots as a symbol of freedom and justice for all, no matter race, religion, or background. A beacon of hope when flown. A mark of respect to their memory to those who willfully sacrificed their lives to defend. There was a time when we, the people, decided our future. Now, guys, that whole video was about we, the people, taking back control. And again, we're getting this post from the TV screen in the video that said 45:59, July 1st, 2020. And that's the post we're reading right now, if you're joining us late. There was a time when we, the people, were united and strong. There was a time when the media was free from political bias and corruption. There was a time when our elected leaders stood their ground, dug in, and defended those they represented. How many men and women in uniform are currently serving on the front lines abroad, only to look back in horror to see the homeland on fire? This is when Joe Biden first took presidency, when this post came out. What does the word patriot mean to you? Land of the free, home of the brave. Now is not the time to be complacent. Will you answer the call? Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it to our children in the bloodstream. It must be fought for, protected, and handed on for them to do the same. Or one day, we will spend our sunset years telling our children and our children's children what it was once like in the United States, where men were free. And that was a quote from Ronald Reagan. Q. Wow. Wow, guys. Cindy Rock says, growing up in the 60s was an absolute best. Women were real women. Simplicity, life was good. You were free to praise God and Son without any fear of pushback. Playing outside with care for hours. I remember that still in the 90s. These truly were the good old days. Hopefully our golden age will be even better than this era. So guys, what else we got out there for this video? So we went through the 2:13 a.m. timestamp. There was a thing on there, a sign on there. I have to
Please,
find
baby,
it.
don't you look behind. So tell me, is it gonna be free energy forever?
I get the red folder, guys. We're going to go through that in just a minute.
Damn old grind singing. Sweet land of the weary and the wild. Are we 1 year from the grave?
So 1 year. Let's look up the deltas for July 4th. I don't know if you guys know how to do this, but you can pull up certain deltas from certain days. So you type in the little squiggly and then type in D space 0704 and then close it in with another squiggly. I don't know what that is, but I just call it the squiggly. So let's pull up the deltas from July 4th. Because that's when it was posted. All right, so post 1681 says disinformation is real, disinformation is necessary. Example, U.S. military National Guard false, SA true. Why was this necessary? What questions were asked SA prior to SA events? Why is this relevant? Think mirror. Look here, look there, or here, or there. The truth is behind you. Today, as patriots, we celebrate our independence. Q. And this is a video on YouTube about John F. Kennedy. So let's check this thing out.
When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed.
Okay, so this video is like 10 minutes long, guys. So if you want to check that out, you can go back to that video by going to this Q drop right here. So 7/4/2018, there is a plane on the tarmac, and it's a United plane. And then I believe that Seoul right there says, "Who do you see?" Wasn't there a plane that disappeared over there yesterday? Oh, guys, sorry. My bad. Let me go back to sharing my screen. There we go. Sorry about that. So right there you can see on post 1680 there's a plane, and it's a United plane. And I believe this is Seoul, China, or I can't, it might be Japan. I can't remember that from back in the day. It says, "Who do you see?" Q. Hong Kong. Yeah, Hong Kong. Wasn't there a plane just disappeared over there? So this post is from 1678, and it's a shill crying. "Shill's going nuts tonight. Something huge must be coming this week. Several months late on whining about Iran." Okay, so we got Iran news going on today. "Back to spamming Lark Boomer Schizo from the 4chan days. Sad." Q says, "Trolling is fun. Hussein Trump interior equals identical minus small changes. World news in rear literally placed in same prior to each departure. Placing that mug holder near the lamp was the hook. Enjoy, Q." Okay, so those are all the deltas from July 4th. Now, Brouhaha says, "Look at the clock at the 119 mark." So let's see if we can see that. Let's go to the 119 mark. Okay, I saw it. Give me just a second, folks. I gotta move it ever so slightly. Shoot. Okay. So, guys, what's that saying right there? That is 11:10. I'm thinking it's 11:10 or 11:11. So let's go 11:10 and look at 11:11 as well. All right. All right. So This is interesting. RR back in the day used to refer to Rod Rosenstein. But I have another theory, because post 1110 is RR problems Q. All right, so if we apply, if D is 4 and A is 1, what is R? $18. So let's look up post 1818. And we'll go back to 1111, okay? So give me just a second. Fixing to blow you guys away. Post 1818. Hillary Clinton says King James is a great family man, talking about LeBron James. Incredible ball player, gives back to his community, and isn't afraid to speak his mind. He's a world-class athlete and a class act. We need more like him in this world. Huh. And there's Hillary Clinton and Robert Byrd. R.E. Robert Byrd, KKK member. Robert Byrd was high up in the KKK. One of Hillary Clinton's really big buddies. From my first day in the Senate, I sought out his guidance. And he was always generous with his time and his wisdom, and I bet he was. And as Secretary of State, I continued to rely on his advice and counsel. Hillary Clinton, 2008. It's time to learn the truth. Reconcile Q. Now, we also had a column earlier in the show that says the world cannot handle the truth. And this post right here, referring to RR problems, RR equals 1818, post 1818. It's time to learn the truth. Do you remember the SPLC and the scandals going on there? In my first days in the Senate, I sought out his guidance, talking about Robert Byrd, KKK member. Who was the SPLC funding that we found out? Huh. The KKK. Imagine that. Is this making sense to you? So let's go back. It might have been post 1111. So let's look at drop 1111. That's from the clock, okay, that we just saw on Elon's video. Okay, post 1111 is from 4/9/2018. I don't know if this fits. I'm just looking at it for the first time with you guys, okay? Hey, Seth, thank you for checking in over there on Rumble, part of our Truther Media team over there. So post 1111. Quotes an anon, Q does. Forgot to post this along with the original post, April 8, IG report, Sessions public attack. RR problems. Right there. RR problems. Seals broken. Arrest. Why was Huber made public? Why now? Everything has meaning. A1. A1 is the guy that had the DNC, that was working with CrowdStrike on the DNC hack. That's important. Because as Seth Rich is what we're fixing to go through. Guys, I know I'm not getting to a lot of breaking news right now. We're doing some decoding right now. But if Seth Rich unlocks, which I think it will here in the next day or so, because remember, Donald Trump said that Pulte can declassify anything he wants. And what did Tim Burchett just say yesterday? I want Seth Rich declassed. This will all tie our problems. Hillary Clinton, post 1818, RR equals 1818. When Seth Rich gets unlocked, June was the ETA, remember? It will tie back to CrowdStrike. It will tie back to Hillary Clinton. And then all roads lead to Obama. A1, tarmac, the deal that was trying to cut on the tarmac with Bill Clinton and Loretta Lynch. That deal was made because Anton Scalia was 187'd by guess who? MS-13. The same people who killed Seth Rich in cold blood on the streets of Washington, D.C. Iran, North Korea, Uranium One, FBI, DOJ, Mueller, election integrity, immigration bill, border, wall, military start, big month, Q. Amazing coincidence, military start, wall. You have more than you know. Reason we are here, more, Q. Interesting stuff, guys. Is anybody else, let me go back through the chats. Does anybody else have anything? The clock minute hand has a longer hand than the hour hand. It was 158 or 159. Mao H987 says. Okay, let me go back and look at it one more time. Maybe I'm this. All right, so dang, it's hard to control this, guys. Sorry about that. All right. Yeah, I think you're right. And guys, like I said, I'm looking at this too, like with you. So that would be 158 or 159. Interesting. Okay. So let's look at 158 and 159. Thank you, Mao H987. I appreciate that. User L, we will go back and look at QPost 100 too. Okay. So let's look at 158 first. See, we're talking about Saudi Arabia again. Post 158. Continued. When was this announced? When did the events in Saudi Arabia transpire? Who controlled a large portion of Twitter stock? And that was Alaweed. Okay? We've talked about Alaweed before. Alaweed helped Elon Musk purchase Twitter. Alaweed in Saudi Arabia was rounded up in all of the corruption arrest over there in Saudi Arabia. But he was cut loose. Why? He made a deal. Without Alaweed, Dopey, Elon Musk would have not been able to purchase Twitter because he was the largest shareholder in Twitter. Why is this relevant? We just answered that. Define oppression. Who controls the narrative? Who really controls the narrative? Who guards the narrative? Does the MSM shelter and protect select party members? I think we're seeing that with Palantir right now. Does this protection insulate these party members? Who controls the narrative? What laws were put in place to protect the MSM from lawsuits? Who specifically passed this law? What is immunity? What prevents a news organization from simply making up sources and stories? What previous Supreme Court ruling provided protection to reporters from having to reveal their confidential sources? How many people are unaware of the truth due to the stranglehold? How must people be made aware of an alternate reality? What are crumbs? Think Hollywood, D.C. Define lead-in. So the lead-in in the drops refer to the Clinton Foundation and all of that stuff going on. Okay? What has been occurring recently? The stage must be set. Crumbs are easy to swallow. Remember, we got comms from earlier in this video. The truth is going to be hard to swallow. From the timestamp. Remember that? Elon's timestamp for the whole post. The stage must be set. Crumbs are easy to swallow. What if Hugh Hefner was a clown in America? What is a honeypot? Define blackmail. How could this be applied? Think Mitch McConnell right now. Think Elaine Chao. Where did she just go? Back to China when her husband is quote unquote in the hospital? How could this be applied? Fantasyland. Who has all of the information? No such agency, the NSA. The hunter becomes the hunted. Operations underway. Operations active. Disinformation is real. Disinformation is necessary. Silent war. Some gets out. The Great Awakening. Iron Eagle. Godfather 3. The Hunt for the Red October. Q. I'm going to give you a theory of mine. Let me go back here. I'm going to give you a quick theory of mine. The hunt for the Red October is D-class. If you go back and research the drops for the hunt for the Red October, Q tells you what it is. It's D-class. What did POTUS just say the other day to Bill Pute? D-class whatever you want. Thank you, 2F17, for the $5 Rumble rent. It says, good morning, Patriots brothers and sisters. Nice to be here. So thank you so much for that. I very much appreciate that. The Red October is the hunt for D-class. Rig for Red October equals D-class. Red October is not a date. It is an action. We are about to come into Red October. It's going to be a hot summer. Let me go back and look at something real quick. So remember we were looking at post 158 and 159. So 159. Q even says, quotes an anon, the hunt for the Red October. This is a reference to the submarine that just went missing just recently. Q says, incorrect. Interesting. Give me just 1 second, guys. Captain McMuffin says Red October could have to do with the red folders. Very, very good observation. The red folder is not PEDS. Everybody loves to think it's PEDS. Oh, it's the PEDS. Guys, those PEDS don't matter right now. The Patriots are in control. We're back in control of the government. Those PEDS are not necessary anymore. Trump has full control over the United States of America. It's a steel plant. Red October? Freedom Fire says. The red folder is D-class information. The red folder, that's why you saw, let me see if I can get to it. Let's play this video one more time. Just one more time. I'm going to show you something.
Damn old grind singing, sweet land of the weary and the wild. Are we 1 year from the grave, or is this just the beginning? My sweet child, oh, you're my star-spangled fever dream, half a savior, half a liar. 250 summers and we're going higher, higher, higher. Singing, sweet land, going, going, going. The neighbors might be coming with a casserole or a gun. The kids are either screaming or they're laughing in the sun. Is the timeline coming undone, or is it coming in clear?
Okay, so the first president that you saw right there with the red folder was JFK. Okay? He is the starter of D-class. He was wanting to D-class it all.
The fireworks are blinding, but I'll keep on dancing here. And nobody can promise me that we're gonna make it to the light. So is it an awakening, or is this a knife in?
And again, we're talking about the Great Awakening. Crumbs are easy to swallow. What are the crumbs start with? The Clinton Foundation.
So come on, brother, sister, stand up tall. Because guess what? Where we go one, we go all.
July 4th, 1964. I'm going to write that one down. We're going to look to see on that day what happened.
If you can hear this from the other side,
I hope this is not boring, guys.
across this great quantum divide. Don't get me wrong.
And guys, listen, I want to talk to you about quantum just a minute, okay? And you need to go back and watch Tracing Justice. You need to go back and watch The Receipt Room with Freedom Fire. Okay? Quantum Q is a quantum computing system that 10 or less have access to. Why is it necessary that it be a quantum system? That these encryptions can't be broken. Q has turned into a repository of information. It is now, just as Freedom Fire says all the time, Q is a historical record that is now etched in time that cannot be broken. Q is so much more than what people think it is. Go back and watch War Games, the Joshua computer. The quantum age of America already has happened. You just didn't know about it. Q is not just 10 or less people writing these posts. Q is a whole system that's been integrated into everything out there. We have it all. And now we're going to release it all. Hence the red folders.
Now is the time to stay strong. So, with all of that, I'll say, God bless the USA! God bless the USA! Sing it, sweet land, going on, 250 years and it's going on and on the edge of a forever or the edge of being gone.
So you just saw Trump. He's the one actually going through the portal. Guys, this is not about time travel or anything like that. This is about busting up the timeline. Because when you go back and you listen to the interview about Project Looking Glass, Project Looking Glass is not about time travel, people. Time travel does not exist. I hate to tell you that, but it does not exist. It's biblically incorrect. If you are a Christian, you cannot believe in time travel. Because if you believed in time travel, then you could alter God's reality. He's not going to allow that. What you're fixing to witness is the Looking Glass was a quantum computing system that game planned everything. Think War Games. It was hooked into everything. Contingency plan, contingency plan, contingency plan. This person makes this. Russia does this. The United States does this. Counter, 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 counter. Moves and counter moves. The portal represents, in 2012, they were trying to figure out this problem. Because the Looking Glass eventually came to the same realization every time. And what was that? The Great Awakening. The one event that cannot be avoided no matter what the deep state tried. No matter what they tried. Nothing can stop what's coming. Nothing. When Trump steps through that portal, it's not time travel. He's setting everything into motion for the one event that cannot be stopped. The hunt for the Red October, D-Class, the Great Awakening. That, my friends, is what this video is about. Because all these other presidents attempted it. JFK started it. Even Abraham Lincoln knew about it. He tried to save the Republic. Remember that? And he used the military to do it. Q even tells you back in the drops what president used the U.S. military to save the country. What did President Trump say a long time ago on Twitter? He who saves the country breaks no laws. Guys, I'm sorry this has turned into a full decode show. I was not planning on it, but I think it's very important that we understand what Elon is trying to tell us here. Yeah, Brouhaha says he's taking us back to a time where patriotism mattered. Absolutely.
$250 years and it's going on.
Guys,
And on.
there was Joe Biden just flashed. He didn't try to do nothing, though. There's Reagan.
The edge of
I don't know about that one.
forever.
Guys, let me tell you something. There are fools out there on X that are decoders that tells you Obama's a nice guy. Obama's really on our side. False. President Trump tells you over and over and over and over, all roads lead to Obama. I don't think it stops at Obama, but all roads will lead to Obama. The D-class information will lead to Obama. All of it. Hillary Clinton is just a stepping stone in this, because who did she work under in 2008? That man you see right there on the screen. When Seth Rich drops, it's going to tie back to John Brennan giving the orders to use MS-13, because guess what? MS-13 is just another division of the CIA, if you didn't know that. Who ultimately okayed Seth Rich's death? Who ultimately okayed the 187 of Anton Scalia? Who made a deal on the tarmac for Loretta Lynch to take over Anton Scalia's place? The Clintons? Through direction of who? Barack Hussein Obama. Who sent the pallets of cash over to Iran the day he was leaving? In repayment for what? Hillary Clinton losing. They never thought she would lose. Now they all lose. Q+. Is it making sense to you now? Are we putting it all together now? The Q operating system, Palantir, Project Starlink, Elon Musk. Why does Elon Musk get some of the biggest government grants out there? Think to yourself, why? Who is the largest DoD contractor? Who is the largest contractor with Space Force? Why is this relevant? It's because we have it all. It is my belief that Elon Musk created the Q operating system that dials into Palantir, which is hooked into literally everything. We have control of BlackRock now. We have it all. Right now, what you're witnessing in America is the left's attempt to keep the lights off. The fight to keep the lights off is all that matters to them now. But Project Looking Glass says it's inevitable. Nothing can stop what's coming. Nothing.
Or the edge of being gone. Is it midnight? Is it morning? Is it ruining? Is it time to rise? 250 summers gone by. So just go on and tell me those sweet lies. The kind as sweet as these Julys. Going on and going gone. Light up, light, light, higher. Sweet land's going on, going on. Sweet land, going, going, gone. So please, just know that we can still rebuild. We can still make something better.
Did you see her reading the stuff in the envelope at the very end and tears were rolling down her eyes? The trafficked children. The crimes against humanity will unite us all. Post 3387. A delta for tomorrow. Listen very carefully again. Note the past 2 years. Note the next 6 years. You were told what was going to happen. You were told what battles we face. Strategic, pre-planned, patriots in control. Q. Today's Delta, 7/8/2019 from 8chan. My turn. Sweet dreams. Q. My friends,
Donald Trump has had a disastrous few weeks. If you look at the polls, he needs a miracle. In the American political lexicon, there's such a thing as the October surprise. The stuff that you're sitting on, is an October surprise in there? Do you even know what you're sitting on?
WikiLeaks never sits on material. Whistleblowers go to significant efforts to get us material and often very significant risks. As a 27-year-old works for the DNC, who was shot in the back, murdered just 2 weeks ago for unknown reasons as he was walking down the street in Washington. So
that was just a robbery, I believe, wasn't it?
No, there's no finding. So
what are you suggesting? What are you suggesting?
I'm suggesting that our sources take risks and they become concerned to see things occurring like that.
But was he one of your sources then? I mean,
we don't comment on who our sources are.
But why make the suggestion about a young guy being shot in the streets of Washington?
Because we have to understand how high the stakes are in the United States, and that our sources are, our sources face serious risks. That's why they come to us, so we can protect their anonymity.
But it's quite something to suggest a murder. That's basically what you're doing.
Well, that others have suggested that. We are investigating to understand what happened in that situation with Seth Rich. I think it is a concerning situation. There's not a conclusion yet. We wouldn't be willing to state a conclusion, but we are concerned about it. And more importantly, a variety of WikiLeaks sources are concerned when that kind of thing happens.
All right, guys, I'm going through some stuff right here. If that makes sense to you about Seth Rich, Seth Rich ties to so much, guys. Post 1591, 6/26/2018. Seth Rich and Julian Assange in June. Anything? Question mark. And Anon says, back on the boards, Julian Assange in the news? Think JC. James Comey. Server unlocks Seth Rich. MS-13, 2187 nearby. 187 is a code for death or murder. And the two people that Q was talking about is the two people that murdered Seth Rich. They murdered them to cover their tracks. Phones unlock command and control. MS-13 phones unlock command and control. Okay? Back then we had geofencing. We could tell who was where and blah, blah, blah. Okay? ETA estimated it has begun. Q. All right. Q post 1493. Q quotes itself on post 1492. It's from 6/13/2018. Reread 10, 50, 100 times slowly and carefully. Stop after each sentence and analyze. Understand significance. Reread. Continue. Appointment of a second Supreme Court would fail. Think why. Sealed tight. Race for time. They depend on winning in November to defend, impeach, stop investigations. Their only hope. Q. Lee S. R.E.D. Ops. Hussein Hacking State. Voting systems. The tip. They must win at all cost. Seth Rich 187 Discovery. UK CIS. Okay, who just stepped down over in United Kingdom? Who's trying to run right now? Starmer. CIA Russian mask hack, same as China sub washing set up. God save us. Q. What recent news came out? RE, Seth Rich, Julian Assange, WikiLeaks lawsuit. Back in the news, the server brings down the house. The server that Q was talking about, CrowdStrike. Where is that server? Q says that we have the server. We have copies of the server. Where does it physically reside? Why did the D's put so much emphasis on Ukraine? The physical server is in Kyiv, Ukraine. CrowdStrike. A1. Remember the DNC hack? It's all tied together. The Clinton Foundation, the crumbs must be easy to swallow. As the world turns, marker, everything has meaning, everything. Q&A, remember, there's a delta coming up for a Q&A. Question, Seth Rich, common question, counted on day after. DNC to initiate lawsuit pre-planned. How do we legally, ... How do we legally inject evidence is what that means. When the platform is more simply than pushing the truth. Q. Q tells us it's all connected right here. Think Google comms. What do we have control of now? I believe we control Google now. Post 559, Hussein cabinet / staff. Who used private email addresses? Remember, Hillary Clinton granted access to the Gmail drafts, so an email was never actually sent. They would log into these Google servers and read the Gmail drafts. You know, like when you send an email and when you're going to send an email, but you don't, it goes into your drafts box. That's how they got around it. Who used private email addresses? What was the purpose? Loretta Lynch, Hillary Rodham Clinton. Remember the tarmac. Okay, Loretta Lynch, Hillary Rodham Clinton, James Comey, James Clapper. We don't say his name. R.R. Rod Rosenstein. Valerie Jarrett, Huma Abedin. Did Hussein use private email addresses? At what? Who just resigned from Google? Why was Eric Snowden in North Korea? Eric Snowden ties into all of this, people. He was the whistleblower. Where is he at right now? He's in Russia. Guess what? He was rerouted. He was on his way to one place, and he got rerouted into Russia. Why? For protection. To be held at a later date. Why was Eric Snowden in North Korea? Why was Eric Snowden in North Korea? What private network did Eric Snowden set up in North Korea? Remember when POTUS stepped across North Korea? Rocket Man, remember all that stuff? We took control of North Korea. We have evidence. North Korea gave it up to us. Are you seeing how we have it all? Who else was in North Korea at this time? What private email address did Hussein use while in office? Do you remember back in the day? Hussein would follow President Trump wherever he went. Why? Because he was losing control. He was trying to get back control of his deep state operatives. The Kim dynasty was hijacked long ago by the deep state. Now, they work for President Trump. Guys, I'm sorry I'm not paying attention to the chat. I'm trying to build this web for you, okay? So you can comprehend what's fixing to come down the path. Why would the chairman of Google travel to North Korea? Think about that. Why would the chairman of Google travel to North Korea? Why would North Korea allow access to Edward Snowden? Nothing is ever truly erased or deleted. These people are stupid. D-class POTUS, the shot heard round the world. Q. Hold on, let me check my phone. I am getting some... I'm reading something, guys. Give me just 1 second. Freedom Fire, I get it. I don't know if I'm ready to put that 2 and 2 together yet. Give me just a minute. Q post 436, guys, and again, I'm sorry I'm not going through the news this morning. I think this is just a little bit more important today. 1 of 22, DNC breach. We're talking about the DNC hack again. We're talking about CrowdStrike again. Okay? DNC, Seth Rich, WikiLeaks, Hussein, DNI Director, Clown Director, Classification 1 through 12, Google, CrowdStrike, DNC, Seth Rich 187 Death, MS-13 2 187. Debbie Wasserman Schultz, Director. Debbie Wasserman Schultz, if you don't know who that is, you need to go do some research on her. She was a bad, bad person. FBI, DOJ Assist, Insurance, talking about Crossfire Hurricane. The Seth Rich information was the predicate for the cover-up for Crossfire Hurricane. Ladies and gentlemen, the Seth Rich news will start a cascade of information flowing to the public that will not be able to be avoided. It'll start out small with crumbs. It will start out with crumbs easy to swallow about the Clinton Foundation. It will tie back into the Google drafts. It will tie back into the DNC hack. It will tie back into CrowdStrike, which will tie into Ukraine, which will tie into Iran. Which will tie back into J6. It's all a huge web starting at Anton Scalia, Seth Rich, MS-13. Why was MS-13 a priority to get rid of? Insurance, Hussein, Hillary Rodham Clinton, Loretta Lynch, James Comey. I can't remember who AM is. See, and here's where the Five Eyes comes in, guys. We couldn't spy on American citizens, so guess what Hussein did? He said, hey, Australia, I need you to spy on this person. Hey, UK, I need you to spy on this person and report back your findings to me. Thank you. Freedom Fire, if you want me to go over the Red October, please put that link in the chat because I can't get that link from my phone onto my computer. How did they communicate with each other? They couldn't go through normal channels, so guess what? They used Google. They used the servers. We have the server. Nothing is ever truly deleted. Classification 1 through 4, the Steele dossier. If you don't know, John Brennan authorized the Steele dossier through Hillary Clinton and her law firm that she had on payroll. Remember that? You remember how POTUS signed an order revoking security clearance from Hillary Clinton's law firm not months ago? U.S. Senator No Name. U.S. Senate Class 1, U.S. Senate Class 2, James Comey, Loretta Lynch. Hussein, FISA. So here we go with the FISA stuff now, guys. They used FISA to try to wiretap. Remember, Trump said they wiretapped Trump Tower. FISA brings down the house. U.S. Senator No Name. That was John McCain. John McCain was tied into who? Iran. John McCain was tied into what? USAID. Do you remember Elon posting that video? This is where your USAID tax dollars went. And you remember he circled that stuff? It was in a Q drop. BuzzFeed. BuzzFeed put out a bunch of the bad stories about the dossier. Remember that back in the day? Public narrative, stage set future, prevent removal op. It's talking about Crossfire Hurricane, the prevent removal op. U.S. intel legally spy on presidential candidate, president-elect, Republican Congress, Republican Senate, news-friendly, etc. Q. Q's building you the web right here. Right here on all of this. Q post 41. Hold on just one second, guys. Okay, I'll look at post 850 here in just 1 second. I got to continue on my train of thought here. Central Intelligence Agency. Okay. Post 4153. Freedom Fire, bring that up next. CrowdStrike testimony, REDNC Russia hack. No direct evidence. Manipulation of source. Comp-to-comp transfer speed hack. Internal download terminal 1 speed. What it's talking about is when Seth Rich found out about the DNC and what they're really doing to Bernie Sanders. He was a huge Bernie Sanders guy. Seth Rich was not a Republican. It's important that you know that. Okay? He was not a Republican operative. He had access into the DNC files. And what he found pissed him off so bad that he did an internal download into the DNC servers. We have the server. And gave it to WikiLeaks.
President Trump had been elected. He appointed 2 wolves in MAGA hats, Mike Pompeo, a Kansas congressman and former arms industry executive, as CIA director, and William Barr, a former CIA officer, as U.S. Attorney General. It is now a matter of public record that under Pompeo's explicit direction, the CIA drew up plans to kidnap and to assassinate me within the Ecuadorian embassy in London, and authorized going after my European colleagues, subjecting us to theft, hacking attacks, and the planting of false information. My wife and my infant son were also targeted. A CIA asset was permanently assigned to track my wife, and instructions were given to obtain DNA from my 6-month-old son's nappy. This is the testimony of more than 30 current and former US intelligence officials speaking to the US press, which has been additionally corroborated by records seized in a prosecution brought against some of the CIA agents involved.
So, Mike Pompeo tried to have Julian Assange killed in an Ecuadorian embassy. Julian Assange is free now. Freedom Fire, I'm getting to it. I promise you. Let me finish my thoughts here, okay? WikiLeaks publish versus Seth Rich 187. MS-13 187 geolocation. MS-13 2 187 date. MS-13 case summary notes. They said that the Seth Rich murder was a robbery gone bad, but nothing was stolen from him. Interning for the DNC can be deadly. He was an intern for the DNC. All witness reports, non-evidence, Russia, POTUS connect. Because back in the day, they were trying to frame Russia for the Seth Rich murder. Russia, Russia, Russia. Dossier, the Steele dossier. We're fixing to get to Steele here in just a second, okay? The Steele dossier, primary vehicle for FISA. They used the dossier. You remember that the Steele dossier about the peeing and all of that junk back in the day? They used that to authorize spying on President Trump. That's why Trump said, "My tower has been tapped. I have been wiretapped." The dossier was discredited prior to known. Our own intelligence sources that were still good were saying, this dossier is garbage. But they used it anyways. John Brennan used it anyways. No name assist. Senator stamp credible. John McCain was working with Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, the FBI, James Comey, the dirty cops, all of them. Because if a senator of this stature was working on this, it brought legitimacy to it. Remember, John McCain, USAID, all of the corruption there. It's a huge web, people. Huge web. FBI Floor 7. Floor 7 is where the main leadership in the FBI resides. Director of National Intelligence, CIA, DNC, White House primary bulk. And it goes on to say the upstream collection was the primary target POTUS. Crossfire Hurricane 1 through 9. FBI Floor 7, DOJ Loretta Lynch. Bill Clinton, coordinated tarmac, unofficial Hillary Rodham Clinton discuss exchange Supreme Court security detail planning coordinated with DOJ, Loretta Lynch, and Bill Clinton. What that's talking about is when Anton Scalia was murdered by MS-13, they got caught on the tarmac discussing a deal for Loretta Lynch to become the next Supreme Court justice. And that went through Bill Clinton. Ask yourself, there's a Q drop on this. How do we know Did we place somebody, a reporter there at that tarmac at that day because we knew exactly what was going to happen? How did they not do this in secret? We had people on the inside. All right, so I'm going to go to post 850, and we're going to look at a couple of things that Freedom Fire's been telling me, okay? So let's go to post 850. This Elon video is so much more than y'all could ever imagine. I mean, I'm telling you. Give me just 1 second here. I forgot to do that. Post 850. Learn double meanings. News unlocks the map. Why is steel so important? Expand your thinking. Q. Okay, so... All right. So let me share my screen here. This is from the CIA information report. Let me see if I can blow this up just a little bit so we can all kind of read along. Okay? All right. Secret control, U.S. officials only. USSR. Red October steel plant in Stalingrad. The Red October steel plant in Stalingrad was obliterated during World War II and was rebuilt by the Soviets before the war ended using such materials as they could obtain. The machinery is 25 years out of date, and the director of the factory admitted recently that some of the machines were 50 years old. The director added that the new rolling mill plant is going to be built as soon as possible. The plant contains 6 open hearth furnaces of the Siemens Martin type. The blooming mill machines, which are German manufacturer, bear the names of Demag and Skolman. The blooming mill motors are made at an electrical factory in Leningrad. A recent visitor saw no evidence of electronic furnaces at the steel plant. Cleanliness in the factory is well below redacted standards. Close to the factory is a plant club, which is extremely clean, containing a good theater, recreation rooms, library, canteens, and billiard rooms. The general standard was far in advance of similar clubs. Those workers who have a good record for production have their photographs prominently displayed in various parts of the factory. In addition, there are bulletin boards in the factory which are written the names of good and bad workers. All the cranes except for 50-ton cranes used for handling liquid metal are operated by women. And guys, this has been removed from the CIA's website, by the way. This is a screen grab of this. Okay? So let's go to Red October steel plant. Trying to get a good link here. Let's see what Freedom Fire sent me. That link. Let's see if I can get it real quick. All right, let me send this to my computer real quick. Guys, if you ever want to send me a link, just send it in the chat. That's the easiest way. All right, let me grab this link. Okay, here we go. See if I can increase this just a little bit. Central Factory Laboratory of the Red October plant. In a post-war Stalingrad, the decision to keep 3 buildings in the form of ruins as a monument showing how the ruined city looked in 1942 to 1943 was made. The first one is Gerhardt Mill standing in the city center, which is part of the Panorama Museum today. The second one is a building in Luckenough Island. The third one is in ruins in the central laboratory of the Red October factory. And guys, this is in the drops. This is what Freedom Fire is trying to tell us here, okay? Double meanings exist. The building of the factory laboratory was built during 1928 to 1930. At the beginning of the Battle of the Territory of the Plant in October of 1942, the headquarters of the 120th Infantry Regiment of the 39th Guards Rifle Division was placed in the basement of the laboratory. Artillery observation post was placed in the attic of the building. For the first time, laboratory had become the epicenter of the fighting during the period from 15 to 25 October 1942. In those days, the 253rd Infantry Regiment of the 45th Infantry Division soldiers fought fierce battles here. For the second time, battles for the Central Laboratory occurred in December 1942. The lab was converted by the Germans in the heavily fortified center of resistance, making the battle for the building showing in particular the famous phrases, "The battles were fought for every house, for every room." The building passed from one side of this other several times. There's the inscription made with the paint, "Heroes of Tarshinsky Regiment fought to death here," appeared on the south wall of the laboratory at the end of the Battle of Stalingrad. Today, the inscription is repeated in the memorial plaque of the wall of this building. Fighting for the laboratory ended with its occupation of the Red Army of 25th December of 1942. The very territory of the plant was fully freed by January 10th, 1943. Freedom Fire, I wish you could just dial into here and we could talk about this, because you're trying to put something together I'm not seeing here. Freedom Fire is really good at connecting dots. So guys, let's just go back. Let me bring up my chat again real quick. Just 1 second. I know I'm going off the cuff here. There we go. This is what FF is feeling out about. It's okay, Josh, you can say it. All right. Guys, listen. We're fixing to come in to the landing zone. When the news breaks about Seth Rich, it's going to create a cascade effect. UK has major sanctions on the plant. When the news breaks about Seth Rich and all those documents become declassified, it's going to set up the cascade event for the Great Awakening. Let me look up something. I'm just going to read it right here. I'm not going to put it up on the screen, okay? QPost 3125 from 3/20/2019. Remember, we were talking about crumbs and we decoded that in the video. The attempted coup treason opens the public door to more serious ... The pill must be easy to swallow. The lead in. We've talked about the lead in. The public must be prepared for what is about to come. The Clinton Foundation. User, I'll get to that Q post here in just a second. And there's a bunch of pluses under there. The pill must be easy to swallow, folks. X leads to Y, leads to Z. 1 leads to 2, leads to 3. Why was MS-13 a priority? By POTUS. MS-13 will trace back to John Brennan, will trace back to the Clinton Foundation, which will trace back to John McCain. We don't say his name. Why do you think Elon Musk made it a priority to end USAID? He's giving you signals right now on what's about to come. The Q drops are not about 17 here, 17 there. Oh, look here. It's not about anon pop culture. It's not about who's fake and gay. The Q drops are intel drops that we all use to build the web, to know what players are involved, who did what at what time, what connects to where. There's been this pop culture in our community that people are feeding off of right now. And they think this is a big game. And they, oh, look, 17 over there. People said, 17? I get it. I get it. Q proofs are very important, but it's not the end all and be all. We must use this information which has been categorized and put into a repository to be able to educate the public on what is about to occur. I mean, you guys can go watch all these shows where they talk about all this bullshit all day long and about who's fake and blah, 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 and who's wearing a mask. You're wasting your time. That's not the fight. That's not the fight, guys. Give me just 1 second. I read it over and over and over to you because it's so very important. I wake up at 5 o'clock every morning to try to deliver you news that's unlocking the map. Yeah, Freedom Fire, it's game time. It is game time. Q Post 4509. You have been selected to help serve your country. Never retreat from the battlefield. Twitter, Facebook, etc. That's why I don't stick to True Social. I don't stick to just X. That's why we're on Facebook. That's why we're on YouTube. It's the battlefield. Use other platforms as a form of centralized command and control. Organize and connect, bridge through linking. That's what we do here. That's what we do on the Truther Hub. That's That's what we do on X. That's what we do on Truth Social. We connect with everybody. We form a family. Use other platforms as a form of centralized command and control. Organize and connect. Bridge through linking. Source beams material from the battlefield, X, and/or garage. Highlight and share, take and drop. Mission 1. Dispute, reject propaganda push through posting of research and facts. Mission 2. Support role of other digital soldiers. One falls, another stands, rises. This is the most important one that we're coming up on very, very soon. Mission 3. Guide, awaken others through the use of facts, D-class 1 through 99 material, and other relevant facts. And memes. Decouple MSDNC control of the info stream. Ask counter questions. To initiate thought versus repeat echo of MSDNC propaganda. Mission 4. Learn to camouflage digitally, primary account suspended. Use of secondary. I'm living it right now. Mission 5. Identify strengths and weaknesses, personal and designated targets, i.e. Twitter and Facebook, and others. Example, memes failure to read through the use of algorithm. Think Tron, master control program. Dependence on person-to-person capture, slow response time, unidentified users. You ever been on X and somebody just comes in one of your posts and then drops like, "Oh, this is stupid," or we don't see the arrest," and they have the little generic icon, and then you go to their profile and they've got like 10 followers. It's what this post is talking about right here. And this is so big, guys. Game theory. Information warfare. Welcome to the digital battlefield. Together, we win. Q. Guys, I love it that you all come in every day and watch my podcast and support me. But we can't always be on podcast all the time. We can't always tune in at 2 o'clock every day to see who's fake and gay all the time. Can't always tune in at whatever time to your favorite podcasters out there bragging about how they called this and called that and called Butler and all that bullshit that they always talk about. You got to dig into these drops. You got to do some research. Because if you don't, when this information does drop out to the public, you're going to be scrambling just to figure out what the F is going on. You're going to be behind the curveball because you've been watching all these podcasts about who's wearing a mask and about shit that don't matter. This information that we're giving you is of the utmost importance. We're the news now. Handle with care. Your family and friends are going to come to you because they know what you're about. Will you be ready? will you answer the call? Will you be ready to answer questions? Or are you just going to try to tell them about everything is fake? Are you going to be caught with your pants down? And I'm not trying to hate on nobody, okay? I'm really not. I know some of those faking gay guys do a lot for our movement. I get it, okay? I understand. But we don't need to build a brand off of shit that don't matter. Tony, don't give up. Just back off a little bit. Tony on X says, I've been trying to warn family and friends for years. I finally gave up. Tony, listen. They know where you stand. Okay? They know where you stand. They will come to you when the shit hits the fan. I love every one of you guys out there. I don't care what you believe about the whole fake and gay stuff. I don't care. I love you anyways. I love all you guys. All I'm saying is, let's get back to a little bit of the fact-finding missions. Let's get back to kind of pushing some facts out there. Because that's what we did in the past. That's what we did. We dug all day long. Freedom Fire has been and Yeet have been working their asses off to bring you something incredible. I think they're going to tell you about it Friday on their show. And it's going to be such an incredible tool. This is here. Let me just go ahead and pull it up real quick, guys. Give me just a second. Look at this. This is made from I'm trying to put it into right words. This is made from an operating system that will scan the entire net looking for truth, looking for signal, cross-referencing with Q drops. News unlocks the map. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we need to push out to people. This is what we need to connect the dots for people that don't know and that don't understand this, that are coming in late. You were awakened for a reason early. God awoke you for a reason. So you can teach others. You can do the heavy lifting. God has faith in you. That is why he woke you up. Because you are strong enough to be a front runner in this battle. The people that are watching this podcast right now, you are the ones on the front lines with your family, your friends, your coworkers. Guys, if you want to follow this, look up Freedom Fire 1776 or Yeet Force, YEETFORCE on X. They haven't debuted it yet, but they're giving you some teasers out there, guys. We're not going to charge anybody for this. This is going to be Truther Media's Freedom Fire, Yeet Force's gift to humanity. It's so you can cut through the noise and get to the signal. Average Joe Patriot, the choice of no is yours. That's right. That's right. Guys, listen, I'm going to go biblical real quick. We didn't get to one piece of breaking news this morning. We didn't get to one piece, but we did a bunch of decoding and we did a bunch of dot connecting here. So you're ready for this Seth Rich news to drop. We didn't even get into the old Seth Rich files. I could do another 2 hours just on that. Fortunately, I have a job I have to do. Can't do this full time yet. Don't make enough money to do this full time yet. But that's okay. We're getting there. Truth or Media tries to bring you all the signal every single day on every podcast out there. We try to give you relevant information that you can use to go fulfill Post 4509, the mission. That is what God called us to do. That's what God called AJP to do every single night. God called AJP to be the late night voice, to be the signal over the noise. God called me to be, I believe, your morning signal. God called Steve to be the midday signal. God called Freedom Fire 1776 to develop this operating software for you to use. God called Tracy and Seth to bring you the biblical truth. God called Signal Over Noise to help bring you that biblical truth. You know, God called Digi and Sky to bring you amazing publications that you can read every single day to help connect the dots. God brought KC into Truth or Media to deliver what's coming down the road financially in our financial system. We're trying to cover all the bases. God brought our family together for a reason. And He brought all of our family that's in the chat together for a reason. God brought Canine Andrea into this fight to help spread the word about Truth or Media and to help us in the background. God brought Spammer Girl Q and to help spread the word on Facebook for Tracing Justice and for Truth or Media. What is your purpose? Scout Mom says God has a plan for each and every one of us. Next Tuesday at 8 p.m., Tracy is going to bring you a biblical study just on this. You know, when God says go, what are you going to say? Are you going to be selfish and want to follow your path in your head? Or will you surrender to God and follow God's path to glory? Will you focus on stuff that doesn't matter and that may get you likes, clicks, and views? Or will you focus on the signal and focus on the truth? God is truth. God is the ultimate truth. And the Bible is your weapon. In the armor of God, it is the only weapon that is listed. Yeah, I agree, Sienna. Someone needs to put together a thread explaining to their grandkids in the second greatest story ever told. I agree. The Great Awakening. A Dutch Rumbler says, I will adapt to whatever the heck I'm needed, if ever. If you don't know what your purpose is, pray for your purpose. God may have to realign your life first. You may have to go through some radical changes first to get back on God's path. Lord, no, I did. Still going through it a little bit here and there. Still dealing with my past a little bit. But that's okay, because I know God's got me. God is in control. You know, we just watched an episode last night on Fellowship in the Word, a replay on anxiety. Guys, don't be worried about none of this stuff. I know you guys stress out about this stuff. I know you do. But remember what Q said. Read the Bible. God wins. That's all I've got for you today, guys. Thank you for joining me. Guys, listen, don't miss. We got 2 episodes coming up with Steve today. We have got Keeping It Real with Real AF Patriot today, which I'm going to raid you over to on Rumble, so you can kind of give him a thumbs up and get him started over there. But make sure to rejoin him at noon Eastern for your midday news wrap-up. Steve always brings a signal on that show every single time. And then join us on Real Justice tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern with Real AF Patriot, where we're going to be going through a roundtable. We're going to stop and have a little good time, okay? We're going to tell you guys about the whole event that we went to, and we're going to talk about, you know, being in the press pool, what that was like, and, you know, just kind of meeting everybody. You know, sometimes I just met AJP for the first time, so that was amazing. We all got to spend time with each other. It was wonderful. And we're going to talk about it tonight. But then afterwards, after Real Justice, AJP is going to fire up on Rapid Fire News, and he's going to bring you the late night signal. So you can find all of our shows at truthermedia.com. And I do want to show off this. I want to show off my wife just a little bit, okay? Because she was the one doing some interviews, and I'm telling you, the Spirit of God is alive and well in our country, and we found that out this past weekend at America's 250.
So hello, I'm Tracy with Truther Media, and I have a couple questions for you guys, okay?
Let's hear them, Tracy.
So first, tell me your names and where you're visiting from.
All right, we're going to start over here.
Okay.
Anthony from California.
Danny from Texas.
Kason from Utah.
Randy Clark from Houston, Texas.
Katie from Arizona.
Shane from Arizona.
All right, wonderful. What? What's your favorite part of the 250 so far?
My favorite part's just like the fair and the kind of celebrating of the USA with the air shows and all that.
Yeah.
Everything that flies, especially the bombers.
Yeah.
Anything loud.
Yeah.
I think the aerial display really shows the majesty, the beauty, the power, the ingenuity of America.
Yes.
The air show is fabulous.
It is, man.
I think watching everybody from all over the country come visit has been a beautiful display of what it means to come together.
Yes, ma'am.
Definitely the flyovers, specifically the B2 and B1s.
Yeah, that was awesome. So, my next question is, what does it mean to be an American to you?
Oh man, way to load that question. Say it's just like pride in country of where you were from, and you know, just because we're all different, you know, everyone in this group's from a different area, it doesn't mean we can't all get along.
Amen.
Right? We're all friends from all different walks of life, and that's kind of what it is to be American.
Yeah, yeah.
I would say just the freedom to be, the freedom to speak, freedom to share with others from different cultures and backgrounds, and just share God with everybody and have no fear.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that stuff.
I do too.
And I love being able to be free and be able to do all the freedoms that we have. It's a blessing. truly.
Yes.
And again, freedom is what made America what it is, but specifically the freedom of religion.
Yeah.
Our founders created an environment where Christianity could flourish, not only in our country, but around the world. I greatly cherish that.
Me too. You just gave me chill bumps.
Obviously freedom, but I think it's very important to recognize that we all go to sleep safe at night and we all wake up the next morning knowing that we can live a great day.
Yes, ma'am, I agree.
Freedom to disagree, freedom of speech. Everybody can believe what they want in this country and no one is
Gonna come knocking on your door.
Yeah.
Right. Amen. Like what's going on in
America.
the UK, right?
Right.
Yes,
Is that
yes.
it? We do good?
Last question.
All right.
What's a message that you would like to leave for future Americans?
Ladies and gentlemen, the safety of our guests.
I would just say, like, we almost kind of like love thy neighbor, right? Again, we're in a very hyper-political time right now, and just because we disagree doesn't mean we need to feed each other, and that's something we need to go forward, and I think that's something our founding fathers, like, put into us. So just because we're different people doesn't mean we can't unite under a common banner of the U.S.
I love that. Thank you for saying that.
What was it? What is
The message you'd like to leave for future Americans?
Yeah, I would say listen to other people and have the confidence to speak anything. Just share your beliefs, share your experiences, and listen to other people, especially too. Yeah.
I love that.
Say it one more time.
What's a message you would like to leave for future Americans that would be watching this?
I would say to remember our history and to just always pay attention to it and don't forget like what's happened in the past to be able to be where we are today.
I'd like for future Americans to remember that Christ is the rock of our foundation, and He's the guiding light for our future.
I'm glad I talked to y'all, man. Yeah, that's awesome.
I agree with what everybody's saying, but for me, obviously people get a lot of the time like heated, but at the end of the day, America is what keeps us together. Shared experience, what Danny was mentioning. It's a beautiful thing to stand on these grounds, and at the end of the day, we're all American together.
That's right. Amen.
There's more people in America that love this country than people who don't, so it's always love the country and rep it how you should.
That's exactly right. Well, wonderful. Thank y'all so much for talking to me.
Wonderful interview. And there were so many more. So, guys, I'm going to lead us out in prayer real quick. We got to get on with our day. Lord, I come to you in Jesus' name, Lord. Hallowed be your name, Lord. Thank you for giving us another day on this beautiful earth that you created for us in 6 days. And on the 7th day, you rested, Lord. And Lord, I want to thank you for sending your Son to die on the cross for all of our sins, Lord. Because without that, we would have no path to glory, Lord. We have no way of wiping all of our sins away to see you one day in heaven, Lord. So I thank you for giving your one and only Son to us, Lord. I can't imagine giving my child to somebody, but that's how much you love us, Lord. And we need to love you with equal ferocity, Lord. And Lord, I ask you that you help us don the armor of God today, that we may not stray from you in the mundane and every day-to-day tasks, that we start out our day focusing on you and then putting the armor of God on and fighting the battles that you want us to fight, not the battles we want to fight, but the battles that you want us to fight, Lord. And I thank you, Lord. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and don't forget, let's go make fishers of men. Let's go save some souls. And let's go save the Republic. I'll see you tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. Real Justice. See you then.